Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this live. Have you ever seeked happiness? I think we all do it by default. We all want to be happy. We want to have everything turn out for good. But life does throw us curveballs, don't they? Most of the time, and we do at least once a day we get to face things which we would like not to face. And that puts us in a bad mood. Some of us do come back a lot quicker. Some of us take ages to come back. And those situation depends on the intensity of that something bad which has happened on in the day. So today's expert, Samantha, is a happiness coach, and she has got a formula or a system which makes us to think about or make us to have an habit of being happy. Habits has to be formed. We form bad habits, good habits. Let today be that one day where we form at least one habit which would lead us to happiness, which would quench that quest we all have about happiness. You know what? Some people say, I don't know, when we are happy, things happen. Even if it is bad, we kind of take it a lot lighter. So that's what Samantha is all about. Let me read her long bio which she's given, but I'll make it as short as possible because I want to get more tactics and tips of how to be happy so that we can all succeed, and especially during this time of the year. And also this year is the pinnacle of it. Samantha is a therapist, happiness coach, a public speaker, an author, the list goes on, a change maker. She's passionate about helping people cultivate the positive habits and create the consistency. This is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency within their lives and their business. She's the owner of the Habits of Happiness coaching, and her mission is to help as many people under the undercover people uncover the secrets of the happiness within. That's I need to what is that? Do we need to go undercover? I need to find out that. She is the creator of the Habits of Happiness system, which has been delivered in schools, colleges, and also community and some of the businesses, which we've been talking about it just before I came on live of how she has worked with colleges and banks as well. So let me bring her forward and let's hear from the horse's mouth, or not that she's a horse in any way or form, but let's hear from her.
Hello, Sudha. I'm not a horse, and thanks for introducing me. I love
That's what
having
it's
you.
all about. This is fun. This is why it's live. We don't
Oh,
get to we hear all the craziness and weirdness of me, and we hear all the
yes.
goodness of our experts. So Samantha, tell us a little bit about yourself so that it can lead to your happiness coaching. And also you've got a very good thing coming along next week as well, so I wanted to hear all about it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and show us
Yeah.
how to be happy. Show us how to be happy.
So, as you already had pointed out, I have lots and lots of different qualifications, but I am a coach and therapist, and I do specialise in helping people to uncover the secrets of happiness that are already within them. And I help them to cultivate positive habits so that they can build consistency in their life, and so that they can have that consistency of stability within energy, mindset, well-being, because happiness contributes to a more successful life and business. So it's not just that once you have success that you become happy, it's actually the other way around. If we can learn to become happier, has been shown that we become more successful in relationships, in business, in our body and our mind as well. So I am passionate about that because I wasn't always like this. I previously was under a lot of stress in my previous business, and it caused me to really have physical attributes and mental kind of breakdown about 10 years ago, where my body gave up. And I had a very successful business that I was dealing with, and I thought success would give me happiness, and it didn't quite turn out like that. So for the past 5 years, I have been researching all about the mind-body connection and how, especially going into a new business and around having to do well-being, and how I can help people, not just in business, because it started off in the community, but now I'm realising actually how much I have succeeded in business, and how I have a new whole concept on how to deal with my business, and I've actually become more successful in the last year or so. I have more time for myself, better relationships with my family, and I have a better relationship with myself without having the guilt and feeling to push. So that's a little bit about me.
Ooh, that's always, I like the last phrase of push. I think it has become a norm, or we all seem to think, at least many of us, a majority of us seem to think that we need to hustle. When you have a business, when you have a one person team, it's a one person team. Yes, that's true. I'm not faking that one at all. And we feel it's hard to relax.
Yeah.
And we come up with all the excuses why we can't relax, why we need to hustle, why when you sit down and think about it in detail without any judgment around it, and you think, it's not end of the life if we can't get one thing done, or if we don't push ourselves too much. So this is where this habit has to be formed. And habit is more of like when we wake up, we brush our teeth, we get our glass of water, or we start running or do something. Those habits has to be formed. So tell us about when was this? You said you realized that one of your business, you were not happy, and then you had to transform yourself and research. So when was that point that you realized, I can't go on like this? When was that breaking point?
Yeah, so 10 years ago, I was in a completely different industry. I had a successful makeup artistry industry, and I travelled all over Scotland and specialised in boutique weddings, where I would do services for them, and I had a team of freelancers, makeup artists and hairdressers. I worked every single weekend. I had a young family of both aged between 5 and 7, and I loved it. But I was at that mentality of push, because not only was I running a business, as you say, so I love that. So if I could just go out and do the makeup side of it and just go up and do that, that would have been fine. But I had to be my accountant. I had to be my, well, I didn't really have social media then, but I still had to do my marketing. I had to do absolutely everything. Then I had to be the coordinator as well, because I was coordinating 5 weddings at one time. And yeah, maybe sometimes more. I mean, I was working, because weddings tend to be there, so when you jam pack, sometimes I was doing 3 in one day. And it's not only mentally thinking about all the weddings that you've got to do, it is also the physical, because you've got to sometimes want these weddings where up the top of 5 flights of stairs and you had to carry all your things. So, and I wasn't listening to my body. I just wasn't listening to the fact that I was pushing myself. It wasn't in alignment with my values either, of being what I wanted. I wanted to be self-employed. I knew that from a very young age. But when I had a family is really important, but I didn't really align with that. So I didn't really think about it at the time, that my values were not being met. So actually emotionally, I was in turmoil all the time. So long story short, I woke up one morning and it was January 3rd, I can remember it, 2010, completely paralysed down one side. Could not move, completely paralysed, could not move at all. My body had just shut down. And what had happened, it took about 3 months or so, but what they came down to telling me at the time was it was stress and anxiety, and my body had caused this. So basically, it's called psychosomatic. So basically, your body really just shuts down. So the adrenalines had shut down, the whole body had nerve pains, and it was just a whole system shut. But it still took me another 3 years to stop my business. I was still went on because I still had weddings for that whole year and the year after. And then 2013, I decided, okay, that's enough is enough. I was having pain, and they'd diagnosed me with fibromyalgia and another few other things. And I thought, okay, the thing must be my business. So I'll just stop it. But it wasn't as simple as that, because it's a reminder of our habits and how we are and our behaviors. So actually, the thinking of stopping something and being this magic thing that'll help me, it didn't work. It actually put me down into a spiral of feeling depressed and low and feeling as if I was worthless and had nothing now to give, because my intrinsic deep want was to help people. And I know it was in makeup before, and now I know that my passion and purpose is to help people to awaken to the happiness and the things that they have within themselves. But did I know that at the time? No. So it took me another 2 years or so, and it was kind of, I can't really say what the particular moment, it was just a knowing that this, I can't live like this. This can't be the way that people live their life. And I know there has to be something more. And so I started actually, and it sounds really strange, but I started in slightly going back into work, and it was called network marketing at the time. And I never heard of network marketing at all. I'm sure our viewers out there will know now. And what that did was that introduced me to self-development. And I didn't even know what self-development was, because when I did my business, I had went and did like my marketing unit and everything when I was at college, and everything was in college. We didn't really have network marketing. We didn't have self-development. So I didn't know what that was. So it was the introduction to self-development and how your mind can actually contribute, how confident you are, how you think about things, where your life is. And it just was like I was a sponge. And it opened me up to how your mind can actually affect your physical body, because this started to correlate with how could my body just do that if it was just all in my mind. I thought there would have to be something physical. And so this is where my journey to the mind-body connection went. And then I realized that a lot of it's to do with our emotions. And our emotions are our happiness, because when you talk about happiness, it's all elevated emotions, isn't it? They're all unique to everybody. But when you talk about it, you're talking about joy, peace. They're all elevated emotions, and they're all the things that, once I've done my research, are the things that help our body, our mind, and especially my physical healing. And then over the last year and a half, it has completely contributed to the success in my business, and how my levels of stress have came down, and my productivity's increased, and my relationships with other people have increased. So in short, understanding how your emotions and how your body is and how you can cultivate happiness for yourself has a massive effect on what you can do. And what I realized as well is when we started to understand a little bit about the mind and the body, is that everything that we are habitual, everything. I mean, the research on it can go from anywhere from 40 to 50% to 95% of what we do, think, and say is
Mm.
habitual. It's
Yeah, it
habitual.
is.
The
And
same as what we
we
digested.
use certain words as well. Like sometimes we
Yep.
can, if the from what you said to me, what I'm realizing is if you had a coach or if you had someone who had that way of like you um, in a previous term where yeah, this is where you're falling sick, so that's why we need to work on this. You might have come a lot sooner out of that bubble
Yeah.
you were in. Sometimes we have to do things. We always say, I need to know myself to get out. For I think 70 to 80% of us, it becomes a very long, torturous path. When some do take a very wrong decision at that point during the path, and some realize, okay, there's something more than that, and I need to go and find out. That's I feel that is also very few of us who come out of that, and you, thank God you came out of it, and you can help others don't take that wrong decision.
Yeah.
So tell us your self development journey. Did you have a coach at that point when you this can't
No.
be going on like that? Or did you do it on your own? That I have to go through this. I don't know anyone who could help me, or I can't talk about this. And people will be thinking, "What the heck is she talking about?"
Yeah.
Um, Happiness is happiness. Just be happy.
So my journey to becoming a happiness coach, um, it wasn't. I thought, okay, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to change my career. I was broken, and this is the thing that happens with us: is normally before we have any change, there has to be a hitting bottom, and I don't want that for people because it doesn't have to be that way. I did, but I know now through changing small, tiny habits that we have within ourselves, we can change the way that we feel, the way that we think, and the way that we do things. So for me, it was I embodied everything. So when I did it, instead of going to a coach, which probably would have saved me money because I've spent thousands on becoming a coach and becoming a therapist and becoming and learning all about the science of happiness and positive psychology and
Mm.
mindfulness and neuroscience and the connections, because I needed to understand why my body was becoming physically attacked on itself. You know, why would it do that to itself? I couldn't understand because we don't get taught this. We do not get taught the interconnections that we have with our thoughts, how it affects our body, even though we know it. So when we are stressed, we
Yeah.
can feel the tension in our body, we can feel it, but that's it. We don't have awareness that we can use these same things to help us to become more positive, to help us to become more
Yeah.
confident, to help us become more thinking, because a lot of people, like I call them my 7 secrets to happiness because I didn't know them. They're not anything strange or anything like that, but I didn't know if you did this and cultivated these things on a daily basis, it actually has long lasting effects on your neurology, your physiology, and also on the way that you are interconnecting with other people. So
Yes,
for
yes,
me,
yeah. I hear you. I hear you, girl. What would be the first thing we need to do? Like we don't want to hit the bottom, rock
no.
bottom. We can catch ourselves and stand before we kiss the floor. That's possible. So what would be which
Awareness of your
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah, that's where we awareness has got a very big umbrella. We can talk
Yeah.
about awareness till the night comes. So where did that awareness? Should I notice in my body? Should I notice in my breath? Should I notice in the words I say and the reaction um, which I produce for certain triggers? Where does it start? should I be listening to my own family? Like, why are you being very preachy? Why are you being this? Why are you being that? Should we take that into account? Because that is one of the hardest bit to take it from others. If even if they say they see it before you see it, they do warn you, but we don't want to take it.
So happiness can cut is, and what I teach is around intrinsic happiness. So that's the happiness within yourself. Okay. And that starts with really, what does happiness mean to you? So it's awareness of, because a lot of the time our beliefs and how we have been brought up have a huge influence on all the things that we say we should, we couldn't. And this includes in business. This puts us on our limited beliefs and puts us into not going outside our comfort zone, putting us into perhaps pushing ourselves too much. So the first thing that I do is really, what does happiness mean to you? Because happiness is individual. There's certain things that
It's
science
very
and research.
contextual. It's yeah.
Yeah,
For me, happiness would be slapping someone would be make me happy. You never know. And it could be another thing. Watching this very sadistic politics would be another thing which makes me happy, which is not right. And sometimes when you have that awareness, you know what makes you happy, but you don't know what you're deriving out of that.
well, that's the other thing, because a lot of the time, I mean, you're quite self-aware. So you are, because you do a lot of meditation. There's a lot, and it's amazing because it's easy to speak to you. But there's lots of people that I work with, and there's lots of groups that don't even have the awareness and the ability to act, because nobody's asked them what actually makes you happy. What is it that makes you happy? What makes you drive? What would you like to do every single day for yourself? Okay.
Yes.
What are the things inside that makes you happy? Not what should you, success, having more money, doing all this. They things can come. But what is it that, because you forget about it, because nobody asks you, even sometimes as a child, like I deal with quite a lot of people that maybe have trauma, they've never been asked what's made them happy. So it's quite a hard and in-depth question, is what makes you happy, and to ask that and to think about that, because that's the one thing about coaching. And like a lot of the people maybe watching this will be, a lot of people that I work with, I've never had a coach. I've never even asked those awareness conversations that I've had there, because we live on a surface level so that our emotions don't have to affect us. As soon as we start to open up and ask questions, we have these unsettling emotions. Okay, so it's funny, I'm a happiness coach, but it's not about not having any negative emotions. It's about being able to allow these, because actually all emotions are there to tell us something. But the more that we can understand that we can manage our own emotions, so it's called emotional intelligence, then the more that we can actually have control over our whole of the way that we think and the way that we interact with ourselves as well as others. And that gives us clarity.
More important is how we interact with ourselves. I think that's the biggest challenge. You wouldn't believe, about a week ago, it was last week, not a week ago, it was last week, I think Monday or Tuesday, around about that time, I had a movie which was going on. I like Hallmark movies, which is all more feel good movies in that. And I was watching that, and there was this question. The protagonist, the hero, he asks, "What makes you happy? Why?" No. That's not the question. What makes you scared?
Yeah.
About to the lady, and I was like, "Love," was my answer. All of a sudden, I'm drawing, and then he asked that question. Your body automatically, I'm scared of love. And I was like, oh my God, just I put my iPad down. And I was like, where did that come from?
I know. It's deep when you it's amazing. Like I was actually watching something about this as well when we're in the flow. So even though you were listening to something in the back, but when we're in the flow, our subconscious mind actually is better at communicating with us. So that's why meditation is sometimes quite good. But even when we're in the flow or drawing and then a question gets asked for it, then we connect in to that deeper sense of us as well. And those kind of questions come up. Do you know,
It
like
was just out of what? It was like, oh my God, when I really was, when the answer came out, and I was like, okay, there was no one there. And I was, God, I never asked that question. We don't ask those type of questions, do we?
Don't. I mean,
What makes us happy? What do we fear?
What's our strengths? What's our weaknesses? Where does it that we want in life? How can we do that? What are we grateful for? I mean, when I first started this journey, I remember one of the activities that we did was to start to write a grateful list, and I had a list of shoulds, things that I thought, because I was in a dark place, and so even though I had a roof over my head and I had all these different things and I had a family and, you know, I felt safe, I could not consciously get myself around thinking and gratitude. And it wasn't until I developed this, this habit of writing and thinking about things every single day, what I was grateful for. It was like a miracle. It shifted me from a place of being a victimhood, and that's where I was. And if people looked at me, they would have said, "Yeah, you're not able to work. You know, it wasn't real." But there's a difference, and that's where I didn't think I had a choice of where I was, and now I realise that we do. And this is where I say, like, within ourselves, we have everything that we need. And so just even with that one small thing of keeping a gratitude journal, you know, it completely shifted the way that I started to look at my life. And this is it was these simple things that I started to do, along with when I started to do my training. I started to understand a little bit more about each aspect of it. But that intrigued me more and more because I'm a bit of a nerd, on what happens to the brain and why is it happening and why is it working. You know, that's the reason that I do it. You know, it's not that
you are one of those people who are naturally inquisitive. I think all of us have got that inquisitiveness in us. We've been told, I call inquisitiveness as inquisitiveness, and some people have said you're nosy. No, I'm not. I am inquisitive. I need to know why certain things are happening, even when I was in a small age. Would you agree if I say that we do have all these levels, even if we start writing gratitude journal, even if we are meditating regularly, even if we are having a coach or a therapist or some kind of go-to person who doesn't judge us for the way we say it. But there are certain levels as well within that. We cannot be ever knowing. Immediately we ask certain question, what makes you happy? Yeah, eating ice cream makes me happy. Whether that is a good habit or not is a totally different question. Going and playing with someone, we can't do that all the time, 24 hours. You ask kids. My nephew says, what makes you happy? I want to go and play with people, with my friends outside.
As long as you're doing that,
you can't be playing.
Yeah, but it's not about extremes. It's not about extremes. Like, happiness isn't about hedonistic joy all the time. Happiness and the happiness that I teach is about a state of being, and it's about being able to. And the reason that I use happiness is because it really sometimes is one of those words that's been researched all the time. You ask people, they want to be happy, but actually it makes them feel really uncomfortable because they feel like they can't. It's not realistic to be happy. You know, you can't be happy all the time. You know, as if it's an emotion that you're trying to get to this happy state. But when I'm teaching it, it's to teach you that to be okay with the sadness, to be okay with all the
Ah.
emotions on being able to do it.
It's about being accepting of whatever the emotion is. It's not going to stay for long, and it's just for that moment, and let's carry on with that flow.
But my coaching development and the way it is that, and the reason it's the habits of happiness, okay, is that we are made up of habits, okay, and our brain and our body is designed to be on the negative bias, okay, so we're already off shot, we're going to be negative anyway, and so we're going to be pushing. So habitually, our brain and our body looks for to go in the negative. So the way that we have to do it and build habits of happiness is so that we only get into the norm and not actually, we're not even going into the hedonism as yet in this happy joy. We're just counteracting what the brain is trying to do for survival. And at the moment where we are just now, for the amount of change that we're having to go through, the body is in fight or flight 90% of the time with us. And it's not because people think, I'm quite okay, I'm not suffering from stress or anxiety or anything like that. I'm okay with stress. But your body will be, because it is. It's like animalistic. It's our
Basic instinct.
primal.
Basic
Our
instinct.
basic instinct is that when we find change and we can't control something, the body, it's an autonomic nervous system. It's not in our control, no matter how much we think we are. It's not. So this is why at this present moment, learning just simple routines, and that's all at the moment. Obviously, my coaching program is totally different. It's a 7-week program. But at the moment, what I teach people is a morning routine, because for us to change, it takes
So you've said
time.
we can write a gratitude journal. We can write. Well, I'll come to that in a minute. We'll write a gratitude journal. We can just ask this question: what makes me happy? Could
Well, the best thing is to do my morning routine, because that does it, and what that's been developed so that it has 7 steps in it, which then they accumulate. So the compound effect of elevated emotions, because elevated emotions are the things that we describe as happiness, and elevated emotions is the things that help us to take us out of homeostasis, into homeostasis and out of fight or fleas. So, and I've made it such a way that the brain can won't say no, because it's only 7 minutes, and it takes all the aspects of what you would maybe think, oh, I need to do all these things, into a short 10-minute routine. And each step has been scientifically researched. If you just did one every single day, it would have some positive effect on it. But because you're going to do 7 effects, you're going to get this compound effect on it. And you can also
you can pick and choose which one to do.
You can do them later on, but what I would say is, if you start doing them now and it's 7 minutes, and if you convince yourself that you can't put 7 minutes in 24 hours a day, then I think you need to come and see me, because 7 minutes is not a lot, and that means that your brain and your habits have convinced you that you're not worthy of actually creating new habits, because these habits are they make you feel good. They're not really hard, and as I said, they've been shown for myself for evidence, but also for the people that I work with, and also the research and
so you run the 7-day program every month, don't you?
So I have a group called the Habits of Happiness Morning Routine, and in there it started to be back, and it was a 21-day challenge where we were doing it, because habits are.
I think I was there on the 21-day challenge. I think it was the start of this year or late part of last
just before lockdown, and it was just before lockdown.
I think I was there. It really helped. I think you started out that, and you started another one, and I said I can't do it.
Every month, yes. Now I've been in there and develop it. So what happens is, at the start of every month, I am in there 7 o'clock in the morning for your accountability, first to help you do it, because it's just a simple 7 steps. And
I may want to come and join you this month. That would be good, because at least you'll get me out of the bed.
You want to do it. There's no, it's not rocket science. As much as it is so beneficial, it's not rocket science. You know, you're getting to start the day the way that you want to start it. You're getting to choose. You might not get to choose the rest of the day. Do it like how you would chip away at a large tree. You know, you could use all the energy and be like that. If you chip, you'll get the same results. And this has been shown. To create an easier habit, your brain wants an easier solution. So this is why I create this solution. Now, you could do these habits and you could take one, but you're more than likely your brain will kind of go against it because it'll have all the other things that have been put in place. And so you're having to find a time restraint or anything like that. Whereas this is 7 minutes. So the more that you say, it's 7 minutes. It's 7 minutes out of my day. You know, it's in the morning. It's like, it means that I can start my day.
How many minutes we really, how many hours rather, spend without, of no use, nothing.
Consciously not knowing what we're doing or what I mean, sometimes you can spend 25 minutes on Facebook and then it's gone.
You wouldn't believe. I was thinking, I was in the shops this morning to get milk, and I was thinking, I need to get 2 phones. One phone will have my messenger and all of the social media thing. I need to put that in my office so that it is not in my bedroom. And very first thing, I open up, I was like, it's this habit has been there for the last couple of months. This is a new habit I picked up. I usually do my meditation, do my prayer, have my shower. That's after that I pick up my phone. But lately I am waking up late, around about 6 o'clock, which is not my usual time. 4 o'clock is my usual time. And this is just not getting. The very first thing I see is, I need to put my page in a group which I am in. I need to do this. It just starts out like that. It's really horrible habit.
I know.
Okay.
And I think
so when this 7-day program, if you let me talk, I'll be
it starts on Sunday, the 1st of November. So
1st of November. Okay.
And it's just 7 days, and it's just for you for if you want to join. So the group has training already where I talked about.
Would you be able to put after our session?
I will
put the details of the group
here as well. So, but also when I did my Monday mindset, I was saying the same about I didn't actually. I wasn't even aware of the habits that I had with my phone and picking it up and doing things. I was in the same environment. So normally if I went on holiday, I wouldn't be in that environment. And so I've not actually I forgot to do it, but there is apps that I have been told about where you can put a lock on your phone so that you don't put, so if we were...
I've got all the things. I kind of like, it's telling my brain, you've got that. That means you need to be disciplined.
Yes.
Being disciplined, being consistent is the key, being conscious about your actions.
But you have to have a why as well. So there's a lot of things. So you need to have, for us to change a habit, that it can be like that. Okay, you can have that habit and you say, right, my intention is, and then as you know, there's be some things that you've changed and you've stuck to and it's been life. Other things, it's repetition. So habits are really, really not one thing and you do it because you have to have it linked into something important to you. That has been the recent study, is that the most reward and the more intrinsic reward it is, the more likely that you do it. Obviously, if it's something that's going against something that you feel that might not, and it's kind of there, the best thing is the next thing is to have it somewhere. So if you were brushing your teeth, you're already having a habit there of, as soon as you go into the bathroom, you see your toothbrush and then you brush your teeth.
Yeah, it becomes,
Yeah, so if it was for you to stop looking at your phone, you just take it out, you switch off your phone and you don't switch it on, and you have to take it further away out of your environment. So that's what I did. So now I switch my phone off at 8:30 and I put it downstairs. So I can't look at it first thing in the morning. So because as soon as I come in, I see It's my mat for me to do my yoga. And that's already triggered there already. So your
Hmm.
environment has a massive set of cues, and you can either design that to help your habits or it can hinder your habits. But you
Yeah.
have control over that. You have a massive control over how to build habits, how to build effective habits. But habits of happiness is all about habits that help you to be happier. And what is happiness? Happiness is about elevated emotions, about elevating things that make you feel peaceful, calm, joyous, excited. And the 7 steps that I do in the morning are things that help you to do that.
So do you cover all the 7 steps, or is it just one step
So
at
all
a
the 7
time?
steps, and it takes. So basically, we set our intention for the morning. So how do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to feel? So it's all about feelings. So it's
Mm.
all about how do you want to feel, because your feelings are the things that make you take actions, good or bad. It
Yeah,
makes
when
you
you
do
set
anything.
intention, it becomes kind of like you almost commit to your head
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
this is what the intention is.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, which comes up all the time, and I think I've covered one of that in our talk. The very first thing is, some people say we are in this, we've got this very righteous way of thinking. Oh, you say I need to be happy, this makes me happy. It's more of a rebelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What's
you
the
know the
question?
children who you know, children, when you say to children, you need to do this, you you said to me that I have got all the thinking which I can think about, whatever I think is the right one I need to do. So people have got this excuse for not doing things. This is, I like this, so I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I like
and that's
chocolate,
the
I'm
thing.
doing this.
People,
I like to watch TV, I'm doing it. I
yeah.
like to be miserable, I'm doing it. I mean, they don't call it miserable, they call it happy. Only
And
we know
that's
that they are miserable.
yeah, and that's
So
okay.
what do you say
Like
to
I
those
only work.
people?
Yeah, I only work with people who are looking for change, because what I realised is, because it's an intrinsic thing, happiness, they have to decide that they want to be happy. I'm not
Yeah,
there to make them happy at all. Only
yeah,
them can decide. And if they are looking for to better themselves or do something, then they will do whatever it takes. If they're not there yet, then that's okay as well. Do you know, I wasn't there. It took me 40 years. So it's okay. There is no judgment on it. I just know that when some people are ready, that there's simple techniques that you can use to be able to
yeah.
retrain the brain and able to do it. So, but if you're not ready, that's okay as well.
Yeah,
It's like
that's spot on. I say that. I do challenges and I say, don't enter the challenge just for the saying, okay, yeah, I've been on the challenge. If you're
yeah,
not going to take action, please don't. I will chuck you out.
yeah.
I don't have heart. People have called me really very arrogant and very hard-hearted. I am not bothered. If you don't want to change, it's your problem. It's not. Don't use me for not being.
But I think that's the thing, and happiness, especially with coaching people, happiness is unique. And if you're not ready, I mean, I've been from somewhere where it was very dark, and if you had told me then to be happy, I was chasing it. It was a different thing. I wanted to be happy. I was on this roller coaster, and if you had I wasn't ready to understand that it was I had to take responsibility. I wanted other people to take responsibility. But the only people who can actually have true happiness is that they take responsibility. As soon as it goes outside
Themselves. Yeah.
in your environment or who it is, then you lose it. And you'll never be able to really cultivate it. But this is what
And
I
the second, yeah, sorry to interrupt there. The second question is, we're already on 47 minutes. I told you this is going to
you did
go
tell
on
me
and
that.
on.
You did tell me that.
The second question is, yes, they are responsible. Sometimes there are some triggers which puts people down, like for example, if they are in some kind of medication, if they are, should they be doing the 7-day program? And I know you're a therapist, but how do you
Yes,
deal
they
with
can, because they're all self-help. and there's nothing dangerous about them. It's
Yeah.
there is nothing complicated about them. They're all self-help. They're all about how you are. There's nothing deep about it. The deeper you go, the more that if you were to work with me, we would work at a different level. But even just do them on a superficial level, on just doing them like brushing your teeth or learning to ride a bike, eventually your brain
Yeah.
would take up these more. Now, the more that you can get deeper with something, the more, but this is why I teach it, because it's
Useful
for you. But if you were to work one-to-one with me, or if you were to do a group program with me,
Oh, that's
then
going to
we
be my second
uncover it.
question.
Yeah, we uncover it at a deeper level so that you can have it. But this is a great thing about the habits of happiness in the morning routine, is that, like anything, if you kept doing it over and over and over again, your brain would eventually make new neural pathways, new neural connection. And so your brain would automatically go for gratitude. It would automatically go for breathing techniques for when you were under stress. So it would take longer. Obviously, working with me.
Sometimes, yes, if you're in a level, there are different levels of the awareness, isn't it? So thank you very much. Please do put in all your details below or after we finish our show. And people, I think we are all seeking happiness, but we don't want to accept it outright. If someone, are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. What's your problem?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and especially in the UK, you know, like that's one of the things that we get asked all the time, and why mental health is such
You're
a
right.
thing. Because how are you? I'm okay. But actually, you might be absolutely dying inside. I know that's how I was, and so this is why. And I don't want happiness to feel like it's something that's elusive and you're trying to chase, because we can all have it, you know, and we all do have it within us, you know, and it's not as complicated as what a lot of people think it is.
Yeah. Before we go, very quickly, rapid fire. Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea.
Tea. I don't know why I have got this question, but I always ask this question. Everyone says tea. I'm just wishing someone will say
I wish it was coffee, because it smells lovely. Smells lovely, and I wish I loved it. Like, my husband drinks coffee, and I think, oh, I wish I loved coffee, but I don't. I'm a complete tea.
I was tea person for so long, and now I'm coffee. Because okay, let me know. This is not about me. This is not about me. I've got to pitch myself every time. This is not about me. The second question: are you a morning or evening person?
I'm probably a morning person now, which is really strange. I would have said an evening person right up until 5 years ago, and now I am definitely a morning person. So if I can change, you can ask my family. If I can change, anybody can change. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So if your house is on fire in the middle of the night, and what are the 3 things you would take and run away?
My 2 boys and my husband.
No, that's not allowed. Just things. They're not the things. They are really living, breathing organisms. They can run by themselves.
They can run by themselves.
Unless they are not capable of it.
Oh, okay.
3 things.
Oh, I think my habits of happiness journal, I think it probably would be my phone. And I don't know what the third thing. That'd be the hardest thing for me, because I'd want to take like all my memories and everything, but they're not in one place, so it'd be quite like I don't have
really, I'm seeing these things happen. I always see when people are in US. This happens all the time. They get flooding, so they get evacuated. The wildfires and all of that. And I'm thinking, what would I take and run away? It's always I can think about is my laptop, my iPad, my iPhone.
I know, that's terrible.
How sad is that? How sad can that be?
I know. Well, mine would just be my phone. I probably wouldn't even take my laptop, because I think everything's going to go anyway. So I wouldn't. But it would be my phone, because it's got all the contacts and everything in it. So yeah.
Not that this is the one thing which everyone asks. I'm giving out this information. People say you have your phone on as if it is born with you, but you never answer. I never answer my phone, but my phone is always with me. I don't know why. Even now, I've got the phone, but it's face down. It's always face down. But I have my phone
You
next
have
to
your
me
phone,
for
but
some
yeah.
strange reason. But anyway, thank you very much. Really, really
My
appreciate that. Thanks. Sorry for I said 30 to 40 minutes. It's
You
53
did.
minutes. I can take it. 3 minutes was my all the shebangs in the start of it, but it should have been finished ages ago. But anyway, please put in your details
I
about
will
the
do.
7-day program which you've got, and also the group where they can access you, and all your social media handles.
And all my
If you
social
can.
media where you can get me. I'll do a Monday mindset, I do a Wednesday heartfelt Wednesdays, and then there's lots of other bits and pieces within the group as well. So yeah. And
Brilliant.
I forgot, I do have actually a community group for entrepreneurs and business people, which you are an amazing part of, which is called The Happiness
Yes.
Hub, which is a support network for entrepreneurs. And it builds not just on happiness, but really about really support as a group and allowing us to have more than just business contacts. But and you're there on
Yeah, and you're also having online market
and
there.
online, yes. So if you want to come along and join the group as well.
Yeah, I do. Just this is a plug. Shameless. I am shameless. There's
Do
nothing
it
to
because
doubt
it's still
about.
part of my group. So it's
I
great.
do regular sessions
You
on
do.
business tech in Samantha's group, and
I
it
can
is a
imagine.
wonderful group. And there's so many people, and since I was around about when it was in hundreds, I think.
Yeah,
Now it is about 300 or 400 people in
yeah.
there. So it is one of the best group and really wonderful people. And I think majority of them are in Scotland or in UK mostly.
Yeah. Most of them are in the UK. There is a few that are
Yeah,
with the UK. We've got things to do in our business with Leah on Thursday, which is normally you do a regular spot at least once or twice a
yeah.
month on that on our tech, and she's doing the money mindset, which I'm really looking forward to as well.
Ooh,
So
that's
you'll have to have a
cool.
little look at that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's another.
that's very important. Money is one of those subject. Even though we think it's not important, but it is very important.
Oh,
We need
it's
to get a
very.
good mindset around it. It's I really don't know how to explain it. Still, I've got this um hang up of explaining this mindset
Yeah.
of with money. For some, I need to get on that one. Hopefully I will be
Definitely,
able
and
to do it
anybody else,
tomorrow.
I'll put both links into the group. So one is
Yeah, please do.
morning routine for you to start your day in a wonderful way, and the other
Yeah,
one is
that's good.
the Happiness Hub, which is the Entrepreneur Club. And yes, so every month we have a theme around things to do in your business, but we also have our online market, and we also have Monday mindset tips, etc. So it's more of a support group rather than just business. So,
Yes. Yeah. Actually, money mindset would be a killer for me to
because
get
it is
on.
a huge
It would be.
for business and entrepreneurs. Is one of the things that can get us stuck. And no matter what level you're at, we hit a ceiling, and we have a different mindset for each one that we need to get over. So if you're earning 10,000 a month, then it's to get over that. How can I earn 20,000 a month? How can I earn?
Yes, it's always the case.
It's
So
always
it is 56, 57 minutes. So I
right.
need
Okay,
to
then well,
wind it
there you
up
go.
before I make a record of it. And we can be
Love to
talking about
chat.
this all the
I
time.
don't know if this is a great thing or not, because we could just talk forever. So
Oh yeah, we both of us are in the same
yes.
boat. Thank you very much, and I will catch up with you soon. I'm
Yes.
going to take you off and finish off this show. Thank you. You heard her. Happiness is a habit. It's nothing outside. It's a habit which we form, and it is an inside job. It is nothing outside is going to make you happy. It's about you, your attitude towards a certain situation. And also, Samantha's got 7-day program on the habits of happiness. So you can be on that, and she'll put the link below. And also you can join the group, which I am in. I'm also an admin of the group, so you can join the group, and there is going to be an interview or a coaching or a masterclass tomorrow. I don't know the person yet, but it's on money mindset. You can join her as well. Thank you very much, and sorry to be off for 1 hour, but this is all gem. You've got to watch this if you have not. If you're watching on a replay, hashtag replay. And if you've got any questions, please do drop in the questions so that Samantha or I can answer that for you. Thank you very much. And I'll see you all next week with another expert. Bye for now.